From East Peoria Community High School, Clutch Sports Media is on the air for Mid-Illini Conference boys basketball. Tonight, Battle of East Washington Street as the Washington Panthers come to town to take on the hosts, East Peoria Raiders. Good evening, everybody. Alongside John Camosa, I'm Gavin Russell. John, this is a matchup that's been anticipated for quite some time. A couple of rivals separated by just a few miles. They always bring some good competition.
Yeah, they certainly do. I think it's going to be a great Mid-Illini Conference game tonight, Gavin. And you look at both teams, they're really finding their footing here in the Mid-Illini this season. Both 12 wins on the season. They've played a tough schedule, so it should be a good game tonight. When you look at matchups, both of these teams match up really well in guard play.
They sure do. Both teams have a lot of outstanding guards. Looking at some key players for each team, starting with the visiting Panthers. Got to look, first of all, the quarterback, the baseball player, and also lead point guard for the Panthers, Jake Stewart.
Yeah, Jake Stewart, he's such a threat beyond the arc, and you have a player like that, you know, he can space the floor, and then you look down low, you have Jamari White, post player, but he can also get outside and shoot it, and I think that's what makes Washington such a tough team, is just their capability to shoot threes. For East Peoria, we know their talent.
We sure do as well, and you also talk about East Peoria, talk about Justin Page, Jack DuBois, a whole host of others. They've got a lot of talent.
Yeah, they do, and the thing with Justin Page, the addition to him here at East Peoria, coming over from Manual, just such a talented player, but not only a scorer, really jumps off the page, a facilitator as well. Big win over Pekin last week where he had that pass in the corner to Jack DuBois, so he trusts his teammates out here. He's a guy that makes everyone around him better, and you can see this East Peoria team, they've really hit their stride.
They really have, and talk about a great coaching matchup as well. Eric Schumerhorn has done a fantastic job taking over for late Kevin Brown with this Washington program. John Gersnich, on the other hand, former Spoon River head coach down there at the Snappers. He's done a great job revitalizing this East Peoria program. So a couple legendary coaches. We're going to get the starting lineups and things in just a minute. Kind of just breaking this down, though. Great atmosphere here, John.
Yeah, it is. And you look at the East Peoria student section. They got the band behind them. They're pumped up and ready to go. And for Washington, we know they always travel well. They brought a good crowd on hand as well. But this is a game that's going to be a really good one.
It's sure to be an excellent matchup. National anthem coming up and starting lineups. Don't go anywhere. You're watching East Peoria and Washington on ClutchSportsIL.com. Welcome back to East Peoria Community High School, Washington, East Peoria on ClutchSportsIL.com. Got the national anthem coming up. We'll be right back here for some Mid-Illini Conference action. Don't go anywhere. National anthem done there by the East Peoria Pep Band, but we're ready for some basketball. Fight song plays in the background. It is a full house here. Maybe not quite fire capacity, but not a whole lot of empty seats in the house, and we've got a good one coming up here tonight. John Camosa and Gavin Russell, the rest of our Clutch Sports Media staff, Charlie Schumerhorn, Jonathan Michael, Patrick Huber, and Teddy Ball on hand with you today. ready for some Mid-Illini Conference IHSA boys basketball. Got the Raiders and Panthers coming up, and we're going to get the starting lineups here in just a moment. Start with the Panthers. Of course, they'll be introduced here first, wearing their traveling black uniforms with orange numbers and lettering, white trim. Kind of talk about their starting lineup, John. They've got a couple players that play in the post, but not a lot of size overall. You mentioned they like to live behind the arc.
Yeah, they do, and one thing about Washington that they've had throughout the years, you mentioned the late Kevin Brown, going over to Eric Schumacher, it's just great guard play, but it really is defense turns into offense. It's a good defensive sound team. They create shots when they get them, and even though they're undersized this year, they can play with some of those bigger teams. They've showed that.
Sure can, and you were at the game last time East Peoria and Washington matched up back in December, which feels like forever ago. It was a close one overall. Washington came away with it on their home floor, winning that one 52-45, but maybe some takeaways.
Yeah, I think it's a game that East Peoria obviously had sit in the back of their mind a little bit. They, looking back at that game, had a little couple mental mistakes late that they could have, pulled away, but Washington ultimately grinded that win out. And then this rematch, it should be another really exciting game. And one thing we're going to focus on, Gavin, is that hard-nosed defense that they showed in their first matchup.
Sure can. We'll get the starters here for the Washington Panthers. They start out with senior guard, 5'10", Jake Stewart, wearing number 3. Micah Brewer, another senior guard, standing at 5'10", wearing number 5. Number 10, not on my roster, John. 10 is a new number for the Panthers. We'll get working on that for you. They've also got Jamari White out there with Braden Vanderheit. Devin, the brother of Braden. And the lights go out for East Peoria, so we'll get you their starting lineup here in a moment. Talk about the Raiders a little bit. They're a team that's not incredibly deep, but they really have a great starting lineup.
Yeah, they do. And, you start with Justin Page, comes out of the huddle right here. Gives his teammate a handshake, and he has really been a force for East Peoria this year. Look at the other player coming out here, Jack Du Bois, another really player that shines this year. Good three-point shooter, good defender, and I think just a balanced team that you can see this year, Gavin. They've showed that good offense, good defense.
Sure can. We'll get you the starters for East Peoria as soon as they finish introducing them with their light show. Charlie Schumerhorn letting us know number 10 for Washington is C.J. Duncan, so apologies didn't have him on our roster here, but got him now. East Peoria, they'll start out as they always do with Justin Page, the 6'5" combo guard headed to Cal Poly, wearing number 5. No A.J. Reinders in the starting lineup. They'll instead go with Jack Du Bois, shooting guard, 6'3" senior, wearing 11. Jack Brooks, the guard, junior, standing at 5'9", wearing number 12. Cam Mabels, senior point guard, 5'11", wearing number 23. And number 30, forward, senior, Saul Chow.
And you can see right here before the tip just how well they match up with size. It's going to be a balanced game.
Sure is, and the ball is tipped. We're underway here at East Peoria. Justin Page will start out with it, and he'll give it to Brooks. Brooks doesn't start often. Reinder's not in the lineup. We'll see if he'll come into the game. Also, Nas Jackson, sophomore for East Peoria, out with a concussion right now. Here's Chown. Page drives inside, up, can't get it to go, and taken down by the Panthers.
Page trying to create his own shot there, and credit to Washington, kind of disrupts it, and chance to get on the board first. I think momentum in this game is going to be big early, who can put some points on the board.
2 big student sections for each team, a lot of energy created. Momentum is a key shift. Stewart, a long 3, hits it.
Showing what we talked about before the game, that range from Jake Stewart is notorious for burying those long 3s, and gets the first one to go.
East Peoria moving the ball around. Washington strikes first. Stewart can hit from just about anywhere. Wouldn't surprise me if he tried a logo shot tonight. Maybe a little too far, but he certainly could hit from out there.
I think East Peoria remembers that from their first matchup. Late in that game when Washington pulled away, a lot of big 3s came from the senior.
Du Bois thought about a three, pulls into a two-pointer, and he hits it.
The confidence from Du Bois this year has been really big, not afraid to take those shots, even though it's contested, and he can really shoot from anywhere on the floor, Gavin.
Wow, a lot of great shooters out here from both sides. Here's Brewer, he's another good shooter. Kicks it back out to Stewart. Got to guard him far out there. Stolen away there, poked away by Page, grabbed by Brooks. Now the other way we go. Page up and in for two. And that's his first bucket of the evening.
And how about that speed from Justin Page getting there, able to cut to the basket for the open layup and then get really quick back on defense and deflect the pass.
CJ Duncan will check out. In is Gabe Patterson, the 5'11 junior. Tipped away again, and it's going to East Peoria. That's something that talked to John Gersnich earlier this year, head coach for the Raiders. They're really priding themselves on defense.
Yeah, they are, and they've showed it on these first two possessions here. Able to get the ball back, chance to extend their lead.
Here's Page. Pulls up from the free throw line, can't get it to go. Body hit the deck there. James Johnson. Brewer drives inside, up and in off the glass. And again, the farther East Peoria goes out to guard them, they're just going to take what they can inside.
Yeah, and we talked about Washington, a little bit undersized this year. They stick to the perimeter, but right there, no fear. Micah Brewer getting inside, putting it in for two.
And up is Chow, no good. Washington will go the other direction.
And, that inside-out game, too, with Washington. Vanderheit player to watch down there. You see him post up.
Brewer, three, no good. And it's tipped out of bounds. It'll go back to EP. That's what they want, though. You kind of saw a design play right there. A couple of screens. Got Brewer open for three. A.J. Reinders will check back in, so he will be in this game.
Yeah, Reinders to go along with Du Bois and Page. Another good shooter out there. Checks in to the lineup.
There is Reinders. Mabels loses it. Hits his hand. Maybe said he got fouled, but not a whole lot of contact. Mid-Illini Conference basketball usually pretty physical.
And John Gersnich just says, go back and get on defense. That's one thing. Not going to let it affect him. Just stay composed.
Bernie Wynn in the game, sophomore. He's no stranger to some big minutes. We've seen him a few times on ClutchSportsOut.com. And a foul on Reinders. First foul of the game. Get a good look there at A.J. Reinders, Jr. for the Raiders. Another thing that stood out to me, John, is there's really good seniors spread between both of these teams, but there's also a lot of really good younger players.
Yeah, there is. Both teams have a deep bench, and that's one thing late in the year that's good. We talked about, Washington. They've battled some injuries throughout the season. Same with East Peoria. Just like you see all these other teams, it's a tough schedule, and they've rebounded.
Up and fouled. Chown will go to the stripe to shoot two. Both these teams met at the Washington Tournament. They didn't meet there, but they both played in the Washington Tournament of Champions. Tournament we know oh so well, John Camosa. Some really good competition. I got to think that's really helped them on later in the season.
Yeah, I think anytime you start your season in November playing in a tournament that tough, one of the toughest tournaments in the state, and then you go and play your holiday tournaments in December, it really helps get you further on in the month, especially going forward to the postseason.
And foul here. It's going to go on Washington. So some more active defense from the Raiders. There's Justin Page. Thought about driving inside. He will go up with it in for two. His second bucket of the game. He's really good at creating his own shot.
Yeah, such a dynamic scorer, too. You know, he could shoot from mid-range, behind the arc, but he really likes to get to the basket, and we've seen that early.
And a charge right there. Going the other way is Cam Mabels. And, that's a risky play, John, because he's already got one foul. If that would have been a block, not even halfway through the first, he could have picked up two.
Yeah, East Peoria's defense right now in this opening few minutes here, looking really solid, able to force a couple turnovers. They're coming down trying to turn that into points.
Sure are. Reinders gets rid of it. Over to Du Bois and a charge. Reinders drives into him. I believe that's Reinders' second foul, so some early foul troubles for East Peoria.
And he goes right back to the bench, Reinders, after those two quick fouls.
Bring in Wade Buddy Jackson, 5'9" senior point guard, transfer from Richwoods High School. Played football this year for the Knights, moved to East Peoria to play some basketball. Here's that's Micah Brewer. Brewer steps into a two, tough shot. Can't get it to go, and it's going to East Peoria. That was Braden Vanderheit. I keep wanting to say Devin. He was such a figure here for Washington. Of course, Braden doing a nice job for his class. There's the East Peoria student section that you get a look at. It's camo night. Going hunting tonight.
Trying to hunt for that win.
They sure are. Not going to be easy. Mentioned you got Braden Vanderheit, Jake Stewart, Micah Brewer. They're going to make it tough. And travel right there. So defense going both ways. Not a lot of scoring early on.
Yeah, a lot of turnovers here in the opening quarter, and both teams obviously want to try to clean it up, get some points out of that. That's going to be crucial in this game, especially down the stretch, forcing turnovers, turning it into points. We saw that in the first matchup.
Both teams like to put a lot of pressure on. Stewart, and it's going to be a foul there on Jackson. 4 fouls for three for EP, 3 aside. I believe, though, East Peoria would have 4. Mabels has 1, Reinders has 2, and now that's the 4th there on Jackson, so it is 4 fouls. Long cross-court pass over to Patterson. Resets with it. Vanderheit at the free throw line. There's Brewer. Stewart. Trying to work inside out, as you mentioned. Stewart, a long 3. Doesn't hit anything that time. Near the volleyball line right there. I'd say keep shooting it.
Yeah, he's not afraid to shoot those deep threes right there. Just couldn't get the break. Well-contested shot. Credit to East Peoria's defense, because you don't want to leave Stewart alone out there. But another chance for East Peoria to try to get some points on the board, extend this lead.
Got to talk about getting momentum. Can start early on in a game. Try to get yourself out to a sizable lead. And a charge on Justin Page. Second charge of the game. John Gersnich doesn't like it, but again, one of those things, just got to keep going.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see, both teams kind of getting in some foul trouble early. Jamari White comes into the game now, player that we talked about here in pregame. Adds another presence in the post for the Panthers.
Reinders already with 2 fouls, so he'll sit on the bench for a while. Page has 1, Jackson has 1, Mabels has 1, so fouls are spreading around. Inside, and there's another foul that's going to go on Greco. He's into the game now. And we've got just under 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter, and they're nearing the bonus.
A lot of fouls early on, and we talked about this game. We knew coming in it was going to be physical right there. They've showed that here in the first 7 minutes.
In the post, Patterson, the freshman, stolen away, but recovered by Patterson and a travel. Page has poked a few balls away tonight. Couple freshmen in the game right now. Patterson, rather not Patterson, that's James Johnson. And Jackson Aarons for East Peoria. Du Bois for three, hits it. He loves the corner. He's hit some timely shots this season, and he keeps going to it.
And that, shades of that last week's game, hits it in the same spot. East Peoria beats Pekin. He likes that corner.
He hit a buzzer beater and an offensive foul there, Jamari White. But as you were mentioning, it was on the opposite end of the floor, but hit a near buzzer beater over Pekin en route to a 49-48 victory. Pekin played them really tough. We've seen lately, we covered Pekin on Tuesday. They played Richwoods close. Got a lead at one point over the Knights, who've been receiving votes in the state rankings. Pekin's no slouch. They're a team to watch.
I think if you're in the Mid-Illini Conference, you're always going to have tough teams.
And another charge. Greco will pick up his second foul, so fouls all over the place. And that's 6, so now they're in the bonus from here on to the end of the half.
So got to be careful in the second half. You don't want to get too many of your star players in foul trouble, but that's kind of been the tale here in the first quarter.
Lots of defense, physicality. 37 seconds to go. East Peoria leads 11-5. Johnson trying to drive in with it, backs it out. They'll give to Stewart. They're guarding him all the way out by the timeline. No room. Here's Stewart, drives in, dumps it off to Johnson, up for 2. Well-designed play.
Yeah, great pass there from Stewart. Almost looked like he could have took it himself through one defender, but great dish off to Johnson for 2.
Up, left it short. Page gets his own board, up a third time and got it to go. Time will expire, and East Peoria leads 13-7. What a first quarter.
Yeah, a great way to finish it. Justin Page, the third effort there, gets it to go. Almost volleyball tip.
And we're going to get a quick break here for our great sponsor tonight, Jake Weston, State Farm in Washington. For all your insurance needs in Central Illinois, give Jake a call at 309-444-4441 or at jakewestoninsurance.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Appreciate Jake's support of Clutch Sports Media and high school athletics. 13-7. Wonderful Friday night here of high school hoops. East Washington Street, and again, they didn't have to go far, John. Probably a little bit of a reason why these teams are big rivals.
Yeah, only about 12, 13 minutes up the road from Washington through Sunnyland to get down here. Short trip for the Panthers, and after winning that first game at home, they knew coming into a hostile environment like East Peoria, this is going to be a game that's going to be tough for both sides. Both teams going to have to battle to get this win tonight here in the Mid-Illini.
Got to fight through some adversity, make adjustments. East Peoria in foul trouble. Washington has got 7 points. Looking to pick that up here as we go in quarter number 2. Brewer is out there with Johnson, Duncan, Stewart, and Vanderheit. Jackson, Du Bois, Chown, Page, and Aarons out there for East Peoria. Throws it in and over the head of Johnson. I talked to Eric Schermerhorn a while back, and he had glowing things to say there about James Johnson, a freshman, but see so much potential in him, and you love guys that can get on the varsity level, make an impact, and still have a lot of room to grow.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing. It's just credit to Gersnich, too, just that really good coach here that's made players better, around him, and it's an exciting thing to see. They've really grown throughout these last few seasons.
And grabbed there by Buddy Jackson. Here comes Buddy, steps inside, off the underside of the rim. 2-on-1 the other way. And it's a charge. I was looking for the call. Official on the far side made it. No basket. That'll be on Jake Stewart.
So these are just some big defensive plays early for the host Raiders, and Washington trying to battle through that. The tempo and pace of this game with fouls, it's really slowing down.
We'll slow it down a little bit here. Page will look for his own shot again. Up and in off the glass. Gets past C.J. Duncan, 15-7 our score.
And I think, too, as this game goes on, you get in foul trouble. Maybe you're a little bit more, hesitant to go up and draw contact to rack up more fouls. So Justin Page, one of those players that continue to get to the rim, right here in this opening stage, he's really done that.
And a little confusion down here. But as you mentioned, Page looks for a shot, likes to get down the lane. Can finish really with either hand. That's not much of an issue for him. Patterson will check in to guard him now. Here's DuBois. Back to Page. Creates a mismatch there on Brewer. Pulls up for two off the back iron. Rebounded, back to Page. Cross court to Aarons. And they'll slow it back down a little bit.
Yeah, just trying to play for that, that open shot. Washington turning up their defensive pressure. They're going to make them work for it.
Not a lot of options here for East Peoria. Don't want to settle, though. Mismatch there. Vanderheit guards Aarons, and it's poked. It'll stay with East Peoria. Barely gets it in there on the inbound. Page has it. Guarded by Johnson. Drives inside, throws it up and in. Justin Page has scored quite a few in the paint.
He's really taking inside himself and getting through some defenders. Good opening start here for Page.
And blocked away by Page. 17-7. And it's out of bounds. Jackson can't corral it. And honestly, the pace of this game, John, again, both teams making big plays, but haven't seen a whole lot of stoppages, not really any timeouts, just a good pace of play.
Yeah, it is. That's one thing you like to see, especially for fans want to come out here and see a game that doesn't have too many stoppages. Right now here in the second quarter, it's moving along.
Johnson up and in. That's his second bucket of the game. First of the quarter for the Panthers. He's one of their taller players, at least that sees significant minutes. 6'1", 6'2" range as a freshman, so he's only getting taller. Brooks, Mabels will shoot for three. In and out, everything but the bottom of the net. Here's Stewart looking to create some points. Over to Brewer. Stewart wide open for three. No good. He hit the first bucket of the game. A deep three-pointer. Here's DuBois. Turns around, shoots, and he's fouled. So he'll go to the line to shoot two. Again, having talked with Eric Schumerhorn and John Gersnich this year, says a lot about their team. Likes to talk about strategies and what they see in their team. And this was early in the season, but Coach Gersnich said he wanted to challenge DuBois this year to just kind of be a leader, to step up, and he's really stepped up to the call.
Yeah, he's done that, and that leadership is so important on a team. You got your veteran guys, teaching some younger or underclassmen, coaching them up a little bit, and I think that confidence, really builds. It helps your whole team, not only yourself individually, but other teammates around you. And same with Washington, a lot of leaders on that team.
And boy, an eventful play right there, but yeah, leaders indeed. Chown picks up a foul, his first, so just about every Raiders starter's picked up a foul at one point or another. Reinders still on the bench with 2, and they are indeed in the bonus, so free throws in the bonus for the Panthers for the last 4-10. You can change momentum in the free throw line.
Yeah, and Washington, a good free throw shooting team, if they want to cut back into this, going to have to make those free throws when you get the opportunity.
Didn't hit that one right there. Page pulls up, can't get it to go. Bernie Wynn comes down with the board. Streaking up the floor, and he'll step back with it. He's guarded closely by Jack Brooks. Wynn fires up to Vanderheit. Out to Patterson for 3. In and out. Page shores in for the board. And out of bounds on Washington. You can feel the intensity starting to ramp up.
Yeah, Washington another foul, and East Peoria knows that if they can get another basket here, start to pull away a little bit in the second quarter, their fans, their students, they're already into it.
Great thing about high school gyms, close environments. Got a lot of energy coming from these 4 walls. Shade over 3 minutes to go, 18-9. Here's Johnson, he's had some big buckets tonight. Stripped away by Mabels, other way we go, 2-on-2 the other way. Mabels steps out with it. Chown drives inside, up, off the back iron. Mabels somehow comes out with it. And a block is called. So now East Peoria will shoot 1 in the bonus. Jamari White set to check back in.
So East Peoria a chance to get to the line now and put some points on the board themselves.
Page will shoot 1 and try to earn the bonus. Johnson checks out. Page shoots, misses. Down the court, Stewart has it, goes up with it and in for 2. His second bucket of the game, 18-11.
Good take there from Stewart.
Got down the floor quickly. Now to Chown, top of the key. Mabels thought about a 3. Back out to Page. Spin move, up and in for 2. Washington scores, East Peoria's been kind of answering. Win, nothing but space, up and in. What a tough take from the sophomore.
Yeah, that's a really nice take, able to finish over the outstretched Justin Page. We got a back and forth game like we saw in that first matchup back in December.
That's what we like on ClutchSportsIsle.com. Love good matchups, close games. Working along the perimeter. Chown drives inside, throws it up off the back iron and in, so trading buckets now. Here's Vanderheit, wide open, misses off the back. See who the foul is on. It'll be on,
I believe, Jamari White.
Said it's on 20, which is Jamari White, but they're going to talk to Eric Schumerhorn. It is on White, which to me it looked like if anybody was going to be on it, it was going to be on Vanderhyde.
Yeah, and it ends up turning out, well, Washington with the foul, and East Peoria another chance at the free throw line.
In for the first one. And Eric Schermerhorn rightly a little frustrated. Jamari White with 2 fouls now. You don't like to see that. Second of the bonus, no good. Struggles to strike for both teams. A few missed free throws on both sides, so don't want to keep that up. Wynn guarded by Mabels. Nowhere to go, tipped away, and it'll stick with Washington.
See what Washington can do in this final minute. East Peoria, you can tell their defensive pressure. They haven't really allowed too many clean looks for Washington. And we knew that in this game, defense is going to be the focal point.
Both teams preach it. Both teams practice it. Under a minute to go in the first half. Jamari White. Patterson. I'll work it around. Think the Panthers take the last shot here, John?
I think they do hold for the last shot. Gavin, you don't want to give East Peoria a chance to extend their lead. I think Washington, their best opportunity is here to be patient, play for a good one, and try to cut into this.
Tipped away. Wynn throws it up, can't get it to go. Vanderhyde gets the board, up and in for 2. So they won't take the last shot, but that's a big bucket.
See who takes the final shot for East Peoria if they can get it off.
7 seconds. Page has it. Steps in. Du Bois drives inside, and he's fouled.
It's just a great look for Page.
3.1. Du Bois will shoot 2 shots. Coming up here at halftime. Got a little special treat. No blank screens today. Came out and did a little media day with East Peoria back in November. So we got some player interviews. Justin Page, Wade Jackson. Did a little few games. Some funny answers in there. Got to talk with some of the players though. So we'll pull those out of the archive and show you to those during halftime. So stay tuned for that. Throws it up and in. Birdie Wynn. Wow. What a shot from the sophomore.
That's one way to get your team some momentum going into halftime. Wow.
And it was a 10-point lead for East Peoria and cuts it down to 7, so a lot of energy. Saw Wynn right there. Wow. What a first half we had. John, it was back and forth. East Peoria with the lead, but really there was some foul trouble. We kind of had a mixed bag of just about everything.
Yeah, a lot of fouls, some good possessions, but ultimately it's a game that is right there within reach for both teams. And what a way to end that first quarter, or I should say first half for Wynn. Just kind of floater right off the glass.
Nice job throwing it up at the horn. The long heave there for Bernie Wynn. Get a quick break here for Jake Weston State Farm in Washington. For all your insurance needs, call 309-444-4441 or JakeWestonInsurance.com. Appreciate Jake jumping on board. Jake jumping on board for tonight's game. We're going to go to halftime now. 9 minutes on the clock. We'll be back for all the action. We got some videos for you. Talked to some East Peoria players a couple months ago, so we'll show that to you now. Check it out. We'll be back. I'm here with East Peoria senior guard Justin Page. You recently committed to Cal Poly here at East Peoria this year, so let's just start right there. You make a move. You played Emmanuel last year. Kind of tell me about that transition.
I'm liking it over here at East Peoria a lot. The teachers, teammates, coaches are showing me a lot of love, so I'm liking it a lot over here.
For sure, and you've come from a great basketball background. You played at a great school, Peoria Emmanuel, so just kind of your time prior to East Peoria, how has that made you better?
I feel like at Emmanuel they installed a lot of toughness in me, defense, so I'm just trying to bring that over and help my teammates out install that in them so we could be the best we could be this season.
No doubt about it. And you got that Cal Poly offer. Now you're going to sign with them. I mean, that's got to be exciting. What was it about Cal Poly that made you say that's the one?
So their coaches were real genuine, competitive, great guys. I never met a coaching staff like that. When I went to take my visit, the whole community showed me tremendous love, and I just feel like it could be my home for the next 4 years.
No doubt about it. I mean, I looked up Cal Poly. It's pretty close to the beach. Does that have anything to do with it?
Maybe. It was no, I love the beach. I love the beach. It was real nice. Yeah, the mountains are right there too, so.
There you go. That's perfect. So let's get a little more into this season, though. You know, you're getting to know your teammates. You've been practicing a little bit with them. What would you kind of sum up the team a little bit? Like, define East Peoria basketball this year.
So I feel like we're going to play real hard. You know, we're scrappy. We can shoot the ball real good. So we don't have a lot of size, but we're going to be scrappy.
Scrappy for sure. And maybe a couple games on the schedule you're looking forward to. You got penciled in right now.
Probably the Metamora game. That's probably going to be a real good one. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Conference games are definitely going to be big. Metamora, they're a really good team. I asked the same thing a few minutes ago when I interviewed Jack Du Bois on another interview, but maybe a couple of your teammates you think are underrated. They don't get enough love. They do the little things. Give me a couple of those guys.
Cameron, number 23. He's a dog, and he doesn't get enough attention at all. He's tough. Soul Child, he's another one. Jack Du Bois, AJ, they all play hard. They're real tough. They definitely need to get some more attention.
No doubt. Toughness is key. So last thing for your expectations. It's hard. I know it's hard to ask. Haven't even played a game yet, but where do you want to go this year?
Well, we're looking to go deep in the playoffs, as deep as we can. Just get wins and just get wins, really.
Get wins. That's what the goal is. So that's East Peoria guard Justin Page, senior. Thanks again, Justin.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm here with Wade Jackson, senior from East Peoria. Wade, I got to first ask, do they call you Buddy?
Yeah.
Why do they call you Buddy?
To be honest, when I was born, I just came out with the name. My grandma just started calling me it, so then everybody else just went along.
So this is Wade Buddy Jackson. Now, do you prefer Wade or Buddy?
Buddy.
He prefers Buddy, so I'm going to call him Buddy Jackson the rest of the interview. Do your teammates call you Buddy?
Yeah.
Your teammates call you Buddy. Okay, perfect. So for future reference, call him Buddy, not Wade. But let's get a little more into the team. So you came from Richwoods. You're getting to know this team a little bit more. Kind of define the team. What do you see in this program? What do you see this team being good at this year?
Honestly, I see us being great on defense. They real disciplined. Coach preaches discipline, hard work. It's like a good environment. I feel like we're the underdogs this year, but I feel like it's a lot that they don't know about that they got to wait to just see.
Gotta wait and see for sure. And I've been asking this question to some of your teammates. Who would you say is underrated? Who do you think maybe don't get enough love, but they do all the little things?
I'm gonna go with Cam. My boy Cam, underrated. They don't know what he got, but he's been in the gym.
Even in the gym, he's definitely getting better for sure. That's been a common theme. Everybody's been saying Cam Mabel, so we'll have to talk to Cam as well. A couple other things here. You've been looking at the schedule a little bit. Who do you got picked pencil? Who do you want to play?
Richwoods for sure. That's one. We got Rock Island. Okay. Kind of waiting for that. And Metamora. You know, they ended my season early last year, so I'm hoping to run into them.
For sure. What's one thing you're excited for this year? It could be anything. What are you excited for?
I'm just excited to play with a new team. It's a new environment. We all excited, ready, working hard. Just ready to play with the new team.
Yeah. And you got some new threads right there, too. Just so you guys got those look fresh. So that's Buddy Jackson, senior guard from East Peoria. Thanks, Buddy. All right, I'm here with a couple of East Peoria juniors. Got Jack Brooks and Andrew Kaufman. And Coach Gersnich tells me you guys know the team pretty well. So we're going to see what you guys think. First question for you. Messiest person on the team. Absolute slob. Write it down. It can be a coach, too. I mean, I don't know if you want to get on coach's bad side, but it can be a coach. All right, turn around and show the camera.
Who is it? Caleb Greco.
Why?
That dude is messy. He does not know how to control himself.
Caleb's been a common theme. As I've talked, I hear he's the funniest, he's the worst driver, and now he's the messiest on the team. Who do you got?
I got Nas. I guess AJ Reinders could be too. Because last year they kind of had the thing where they fill up a locker with Chick-fil-A cups. So yeah, and I think they're doing that again this year. So
Okay, and you say Chick-fil-A. Who would you say eats out the most? Like who is always not even fast food? Like who's just eating all the time?
let's write it down.
Yeah, write down. All right, who you got?
It's definitely AJ.
What is he eating?
He's eating Chick-fil-A all the time.
Just Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
What's he get from Chick-fil-A?
I think he gets a lot of nuggets. He gets 12-piece nuggets.
See, I'm more of a sandwich guy. What are you, a sandwich guy or nuggets guy?
The spicy deluxe.
Like, so who do you got?
Yeah, I gotta agree. I gotta say AJ too.
Okay, what opinion on Chick-fil-A?
Personally, I think it's a little overrated, but
Wow.
I mean it's good.
That's a hot take. Okay, I'm gonna switch this up. Not your teammates. Best place to eat at around here. You got one place to go eat a meal at. Give me a place to eat at. I know it's not Chick-fil-A. All right, what do you got?
All right, I got B-dubs.
So you're a wing guy.
Yeah, like them honey barbecue wings, you can't go wrong with that, honestly.
You like spicy stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm more of a honey barbecue kind of guy, but I like a little spice. yeah.
Okay. What do you got?
I got Texas Roadhouse.
Steak?
Oh yeah.
What kind of steak?
We go 8-ounce sirloin.
For sure. 8-ounce sirloins. We got B-dubs, Texas Roadhouse. I'll give you a basketball question. How about that? We'll give you something a little more on the court. Who would you say has the best handles on the team? Like, just going to absolutely cross you up, dribble the lights out. Best handles. Who we got?
All right, I'm saying Nas.
Nas?
I mean, it's kind of off and on though. He'll either turn it over, or he'll absolutely cross you up. I mean, he's got some sick crossovers.
So you got to teach him some dribbling skills.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Who do you got?
I got Nas as well.
Got Nas as well.
Cam's a good second, but first day Nas came in here, pretty sure it crossed me up like 3 times.
Man, I mean, that's kind of tough, but it gets you better, I guess. All right, so we've established you don't like Chick-fil-A that much. You do like Chick-fil-A, the Spicy Deluxe. We answered some questions here with Jack Brooks and Andrew Kaufman. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Welcome back to East Peoria Community High School. Thanks for sticking with us here on ClutchSportsIL.com, and thanks to the East Peoria players for doing some interviews, some fun little games with us. So have some halftime entertainment of sorts, I guess. But John Camosa, Gavin Russell back here with you. Second half of basketball coming up, and let's talk about both of these sides. First of all, for Washington, down 7. They got a buzzer beater from Bernie Wynn to end the half. A lot of momentum coming off of that. Got to change some things up. Got to be able to get some more consistency.
Yeah, I think it's going to start with defense, too. Washington, like you said, Gavin, a lot of momentum off that three-pointer going into halftime. Anytime you do that, it fuels you going into the second half, and it's really going to start with defense. East Peoria has been able to get to the basket with Justin Page, get some second-chance points. Washington's defense going to have to step up and then turn that into points.
See if they can do so. Reinders is back out there, so not a face we've seen much of tonight. He's got 2 fouls and did not start tonight. Pretty much has been on the bench, so he's got some fresh legs. We'll see if he can make an impact. We're underway in half number 2. 7-point game. Mid-Illini Conference rivalry. Anybody's game right now. Johnson closely guards Page, but he'll pick up a quick foul. Page will inbound it. Chown grabs it. Page, deep 3. Can't get it to go. Both teams hit a couple times out there, but not a lot of consistency. We've seen a lot more inside scoring.
Yeah, we have, and both teams, I think, just kind of patient with their possessions, trying to look for something clean and open. And I think that's going to be big in a tight game like this, playing for those patient shots.
Here's Vanderheit. Gives it off the Wynn. And tipped away, nearly stolen. Here's Brewer for 3. No good. Vanderheit volleyballs it back in, but he was out of bounds. What an effort right there.
Kind of slow to jog back there. Took a pretty hard fall.
Putting his body on the line. Page pulls up again for three. No good. Here comes Wynn. Wynn now guarded by Page.
And both teams in this second half look like they're shooting a three.
Not a lot of success from out there, which is typically a staple of both these teams. They can shoot well from outside. Sometimes the shots just don't fall. Brewer will try to reverse that. Can't get it to go. Here's Mabels. He'll pull up for three. Hits it. Finally breaks the streak. I believe we had 0 for 4 combined for both teams. But Cam Mabels knocks down a triple.
Yeah, East Peoria, quick rebound off the miss. Pushes the tempo, and Mabels, wide open three, able to knock it down.
He'll hit there for every once in a while. Stewart inside, and he's fouled. We'll see who it goes on. And it'll go on Cam Mabels. Stewart, free throw up and good. Jamari White checks back in for James Johnson.
Stewart, another chance at a free throw.
Shoots it right away, misses the second one, hauled in by Page. 9-point lead. Here's Page. Gives it off to Reinders. Mabels thought about a three, thought better. He's got the mismatch with Vanderheit. He tries to drive inside, up and travel. I think John Gerznich was telling him, kick it out.
Yeah, now back with Washington. And they're getting some chances here to try to cut into this game. He's got to play for those clean looks.
Both teams usually take pretty smart shots. Haven't been falling at the same clip they normally do, but a lot of pressure. Vanderheit and he's fouled. Boyd Reinders just picked up his third. He'll stay out there, though. Not for long, though. Wade Jackson checks in. Here's Jamari White.
Vanderheit, he's been looking for that ball inside, but heavily contested by Page there.
Can't get it into the post. Here's Mabels, gives it off to Jackson. Now to Page. Backs out with it. He's trying to look for Mabels, nothing happening. Sets up a screen. Chown. Hop steps in for two. Vanderheit, top of the key. Bernie Wynn now. Over to Jamari White. He'll drive inside. Stolen away again. Up to Du Bois. Stewart to beat. Up and in for two. 32-19.
East Peoria, they're starting to separate. Washington trying to find an answer out of this timeout, but all East Peoria right now.
Pretty slow things, all things considered, but East Peoria extends their lead out. Take a quick break. Let you know about our great sponsor tonight, Jake Weston State Farm in Washington. Once you learn his phone number, it's hard to forget, 309-444-4441 or JakeWestonInsurance.com. Jake from State Farm, he's your good neighbor in Central Illinois. Appreciate his support of high school athletics and Clutch Sports Media. Not possible without him and our other great sponsors that we'll have on board throughout this season. Hard to believe we're coming down on the home stretch, John. Teams are getting under 10 games or so left in the regular season. And we'll head to some big-time playoffs.
And I think, we talked about that, Gavin. Both these teams have played a tough schedule. When you play these close conference games, really gets you ready. And hard to believe postseason is just 2 months around the corner.
Really, really close to having some big postseason action. We'll do our best to bring it all to you on ClutchSportsIsle.com. Got some big action here, though. Here's Bernie Wynn. He's been the man tonight for Washington, the sophomore. He's hit a buzzer beater at the end of the half. He's had a couple of timely buckets, turns it over. But Eric Schumerhorn's got to be pleased with Wynn, the sophomore, Johnson, the freshman. I mean, a lot of great parts for the future.
Yeah, there is. And, there's a lot of underclassmen that are going to, fill that role for some of these departures. Jake Stewart, senior. Micah Brewer, and I think it's good. He's got such a deep team, and we've seen some younger guys get in the lineup. It definitely helps going forward.
They're a program that'll just churn out players very quickly. Chown will pull from the top of the key, no good. Again, tough shooting night from beyond the arc. Vanderheit was smothered. Here comes Wynn the other direction. Up to Vanderheit, up and fouled, and one. Braden Vanderheit will get a chance at an and one.
So strong going to the basket, Vanderheit. And how many times, Gavin, we've seen him hit the deck. Not afraid to put his body on the line in this game, and picks up the 2 points there on the layup, a chance for a three-point play.
Vanderheit will try to complete the and one, the old-fashioned three. Shot is up and no good, but he gets the board. Up again, no good. Had a good look at it and fouled by Bernie Wynn. Nearly had a 4-point play there.
Yeah, good awareness, though, for Vanderheit. Able to get it and had a good look at the rim, just couldn't get it to fall. East Peoria, another chance down the floor.
Got to capitalize. Both teams have had chances on turnovers. I wouldn't believe the points off turnovers will be very high. Though we don't have official stats, can't say for sure. But either team has capitalized on too many opportunities, but product of good defense, good transition play. Page behind the back, tried to step through. He'll back it out. Here's Chown. Mabels will shoot for three. Blown dead, but it's an offensive foul. That one's got to hurt for East Peoria. Called on Chown, and that was a chance to go up by 14.
Yeah, still a lot of time in this game. And East Peoria is trying to pull away, extend that lead. Washington trying to cut into it. See which way it goes.
Here's a chance for Washington to capitalize. See if they can. Brewer has it. Gets it into Johnson. They want that low post look. Back to Vanderheit. He'll try to drive in. Thought about it. Back to Patterson. Now Brewer wide open. No good. And Vanderheit is all over. Probably the hustle award tonight has got to go to Braden Vanderheit.
Yeah, it certainly does. And he's really shown that determination, whether it be to get a rebound or going for a loose ball, just putting his body out there. And it's good to see, it shows you that enthusiasm, that grit, that will to win.
Something that his brother Devin had, still has, playing at Lewis. A flyer now at the college ranks. Sure Braden's hoping to get there as well. Over to Chown. He'll go up and under, in for two. Minute 30 to go in the third. It's a big bucket from Sol Chown.
Yeah, great take. Patient possession. Gets right to the basket. And just like that, East Peoria really separating.
Up and in, off the rim. No friendly bounce. They'll go the other way. Thought about a quick three. Nothing happening. Now Page will try to play quickly. Turns the ball over. Probably could have played slower if you're East Peoria, and fouled by Jackson. Feels a little bit rushed.
Yes, it does. But East Peoria, you know, they got to like where they're at with this lead. Going to be going into the fourth quarter here after a minute. They're trying to make a defensive step here. Washington still battling, trying to get back into this one.
Bernie Nguyen has made some timely shots. We'll see if they can here. Just under a minute. Johnson thought about pulling a three. Back to Vanderheit in the low post. He goes right up with it. No good. Oh, stolen away. Bernie Nguyen. Who else? Three for Brewer. No good. Page will get it that time. 30 seconds to go. Aarons shoots for three. In and out. Now Bernie Nguyen. Stewart for three. Off. Really tough shooting night for both sides. Stolen away and a jump ball. So it'll go to Washington. Kind of sloppy in this last minute, John.
Yeah, you know, just both teams just trying to do too much, too quick, and Washington here 15 seconds, trying to put some points on the board. They just got to play for that open shot.
Need a timely bucket. Here's Vanderheit, drives inside, back out to Johnson. Johnson drives in, up, nice little touch off the glass, and they will finish barring a Hail Mary right here, off the rim. That would have been the second buzzer beater of the night.
Almost. That would have been a lot deeper than Wynn's shot and just off the rim.
Really close, but we're in store for a good finish here. 34-23 is our score. We're going to take a quick break. Tell you about our sponsor, Jake Weston State Farm in Washington. Remember the phone number, 309-444-4441 or JakeWestonInsurance.com. Thanks to Jake, always a great sponsor for us on Clutch Sports Media. Go check Jake out in Washington. Get you some insurance. Fourth quarter upon us here, John Camosa, and East Peoria has obviously been in front. We know things can change in the blink of an eye. 2-3 shots fall for Washington. This is a single possession game. First of all, if you're East Peoria, what do you do to retain this lead?
Yeah, I think, you know, slowing the tempo down if you're East Peoria, running some clock, you know, you got to lead. Your defense has been good, so just continue to put some pressure out there, play for what you get. If you're Washington, when do you kind of get in that, you know, go? I mean, you got 8 minutes left in this game, but you're still in a hole here. You got to try to score some points quick out of the gate here.
They'll try to do so. Fourth quarter. Final quarter. Could be, unless we get OT. Page out there with Du Bois, Aarons, Greco, and Cam Mabels. Stewart out there with Nguyen, Johnson, Brewer, and Vanderheit for Washington. Page gets an open look for three, no good. Nguyen retrieves the board. He's played most of this game, John. Tired legs for both sides. Greco guards Vanderheit. Turns, spins, shoots off the back iron.
Another good rebound there from Page, and East Peoria can now just kind of play at their pace.
Du Bois thought about going somewhere with it. He'll go right, leaves it off to Aarons. Now Mabels will get another chance at a three, no good. Tipped away, and Washington hauls it in. Here comes Bernie Nguyen.
Washington. Yeah, that defense for East Peoria right now, though, it's really been kind of smothering.
Again, not a high-scoring game, 34-23, not a lot. Brewer will try to add three more off the back. And no bucket. Get a good look there at Micah Brewer, senior. Jackson, as Page will check out, I would assume for a short breather. A water break. Greco delivers a screen.
I'm sure they'll have Page back in here after a quick breather.
Greco has it, now gives it off to Du Bois. Washington's defense looking really good too. Gives it over to Mabels, thought about driving with it. He's got the mismatch on Vanderheit. Spins around with it. Du Bois from the wing, no good. 2 minutes gone by, no buckets here. Stewart trying to add 3. Got it! Timeout Washington. And a big momentum shifting 3, 8-point game now. East Peoria struggling to score. Stewart hits the first bucket of regulation.
Yeah, that's how quick Washington can turn this thing around. Just takes that one big basket, and it comes from the senior, Stewart. He got his look. Still a lot of time.
They'll try to draw something up here in the huddle. Let's get a quick break to remind you about our great sponsor for tonight's game, Jake Weston State Farm in Washington. Give him a call at the number on your screen or visit JakeWestonInsurance.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Contact Jake if you're anywhere around Central Illinois for all your insurance needs. Washington huddle. They'll talk it over. Eric Schermerhorn drawing some things up for his guy. Jake Stewart hit a big 3 right there. That was his second of the game. Coming out of the huddle, John, if you're East Peoria, what does John Gersnich draw? Maybe a play, or do you just kind of just keep playing like you've been playing?
Yeah, I just kind of keep playing like you've been playing. You know, if that shot's there, take it, but wouldn't try to force too much. Washington, maybe a little bit of momentum after that shot. Now it's just going to come down to defense on their end. For East Peoria, put some points on the board and continuing to keep this game within double digits is their best advantage.
Got to score to win. Defense can win you games. Some may say defense wins championships. And throws it into the backcourt, turnover, so really good stand right there from Washington, and you just feel like kind of the needles moving their direction.
Yeah, that's all it takes right there, just to stop here, stop there, and Washington forces them over quick. Now they have a chance to capitalize.
Brewer will inbound, gets it to Bernie Wynn. Washington not in a hurry. They'll move it now, gives it off to Stewart. 3 guarded by 3. Jackson guarded Stewart. And nearly stolen away. Chown pokes it away. He'll go up. Blocked, but he's fouled from the backside by James Johnson. Nope, that's not James Johnson. Checking in now is DeAndre Jackson.
He had a really clean look at that. It's unfortunate for him. Gets a little bit of contact. I'm sure East Peoria doesn't mind. They're going back to the line.
They sure don't. First free throw's up and good from Chown. Again, it's really hard to tell in real time. Got to look into replay one of these days, John.
Yeah.
As soon as we do, we'll start replaying those. Second is up and good. Definitely hit the ball. Ref, though, calling some body contact, maybe a push in the back. You can be the judge at home. Ref called it a foul here. Reinders, Stewart, deep 3. He's feeling it. Second of the quarter.
He is fired up now. It's one guy East Peoria doesn't want to see get pumped up because he can really start shooting.
Here's Du Bois trying to answer. No good. He was long. And it's going to be a push on Saul Chown. Again, Washington just starting to get that momentum. East Peoria holding their lead. Just Washington has plenty of time.
Yeah, they do. And, you know, a bucket down here on the other end, Gavin, that would be 2 straight. I would really fire this squad up. East Peoria trying to make a stop.
May prompt the timeout from John Gersnich if they get a bucket. Into Jackson, up, fouled though from the backside. Bit of a late whistle, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2. DeAndre Jackson, a junior, 6'2". Hasn't played much in this game, but playing in crunch time. Shade under 5 minutes, and the first free throw is off. 7-point game.
Jamari White back into the game for the Panthers.
They've really varied the lineups. Jackson hits the second. 6-point game. It's getting close. Washington gets a little enthusiasm from the traveling crowd. Now they pump up a little bit more. Student section gets loud. Nearly miscommunication. Page for three. No good, off the iron. Vanderheit gets it. Now another big chance for Washington.
And I don't think you need those threes, Gavin. You know, if you got the lead, trying to play for something inside.
Win up. Doesn't hit it. Trying to draw a foul. Washington fans wanted it. Page will slow down if it calls out a play, and a timeout East Peoria. Probably a good one. They've got 5 left to burn and half a quarter left to go. And again, we talked earlier about, maybe just kind of keep playing like you've been playing, but I feel like you got to drop a play now.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is that time in the game. 4 minutes left. You got to get a clean look to the basket. You don't need a three. You got a 6-point lead. Just try to play for something good here. If you're Washington, this is when you really got to keep that defensive pressure up. It's a quick game that could turn around here for East Peoria.
We know it can change in a hurry, John Camosa. We've seen some wild comebacks, Clutch Sports Media. We've seen some thrillers coming down to the very last plays of the game. Washington's been involved in a few of those, so it wouldn't be out of the ordinary to see that tonight. East Peoria currently taking a full timeout. Game reset for you. East Peoria is led by as much as 13 in this one, down to 6 right now. Jake Stewart has hit 2 timely three-pointers here in this fourth quarter. Overall, a tough shooting night for both sides. Fouls right now, East Peoria 7. Rather, Washington has, no, East Peoria does have 7. Looking at the scoreboard wrong there. Washington has 4. And inbounding off the timeout is Jackson to Page. Looking for a play here. Double team. Over to Jackson. Stolen away by Washington. Not what you wanted if you're East Peoria.
Quick turnaround here. Washington a chance to make this one really interesting.
A bucket here would really start to spice this up. Stewart's hot from 3. He'll drive inside. Up. Off the glass. Can't get to go. Reinders gets it. 2-on-1 the other way. Streaking up the floor. Up. Block is the call. Washington bench doesn't like it. And you can look at Eric Schumerhorn right there, kind of throwing his hand up. Again, so hard to see in live action, John. Looked like he was set, maybe some late movement.
There's a warning there on Schumerhorn.
Get some boos from the crowd. Refs will make sure everybody's on the same page. Reinders, first of 2, is off. So free throws have been detrimental. Both sides have missed a handful. Eric Schumerhorn fired up, but not going too far. Second one is up and good, 7-point game. So here's Bernie Wynn, approaching 3 minutes. We got a good one. Wynn over to Brewer. Back to Wynn. Thought about going inside. Here's Jamari White, guarded by Chow. Up and fouled by Reinders. Reinders has collected several fouls this evening. That's his 4th. He'll shoot 1 in the bonus for Jamari White.
Free throws going to be really big now as we almost get under 3 minutes, Gavin.
Jamari White, first one of the bonus. Short, but Washington gets the board. Chance to do more than two. Win. And fouled on Reinders, and he'll foul out of the game.
That's his fifth. And he's picked up some early fouls in the first quarter and then really found some trouble here late.
So he'll finish his evening. Didn't like the call, so back to the free throw line the Panthers go. He's sitting down there at the end of the bench. So you got to make your free throws if you're Washington, but on the other side, East Peoria's got a rebound.
Yeah. See if Washington try to knock these down.
First is up and good. They do capitalize that time. Jackson can cut it down to 5. Would be the shortest, rather lowest deficit since halftime for the Panthers.
And if you're East Peoria now, you let them come to you and play defense. You got the lead. You can still chew some clock. See how Washington attacks this.
Defense chance breaks out from the team in orange and black. They're going to chew major clock here, it looks like. Nearly stolen away, but Wynn will pick up the foul. Oh, so close. Now bonus for the Raiders rest of the way. Ball control is very key here. Into Page. East Peoria has not scored many points here in this final frame. Stolen away by Washington.
Another big chance.
Stewart back to Wynn. Approaching 2 minutes. Off the leg of Stewart. Back to Wynn. Wynn spins.
Washington trying to get that open look.
Drives in. Up and in. It's a 3-point game. 2-minute warning. Fasten those seatbelts. Here we go.
If you're Washington, that's who you want to have the ball in his hands. Jake Stewart, 2 big plays there.
Timeout East Peoria, and it has been all Washington this quarter. Really the last thing East Peoria could have afforded was to kind of melt down. So far, Washington's doing a good job. How about a look at some schedules, John, upcoming? As we mentioned, they're entering kind of the home stretch of the season. Start with Washington. All right, I'm here with a couple of East Peoria juniors. Get that off your screen real quick there. They've got Pekin at home. Then they'll go to Limestone. They've got 4 out of their next 5 over at Torrey Gymnasium. Dunlap, Manual on that schedule. What do you like there?
Yeah, I mean, it's a slate coming up with some tough games. You got, Manual down at the bottom. Some winnable games on there. You're playing teams, kind of in the lower half of the Mid-Illini, but all games that are going to test their strength.
We will see what they can do over those next 5. How about East Peoria? They'll be at Limestone. Then they'll host Canton and Dunlap. Play at a neutral site against South Beloit, and then they'll be at Lincoln. Some challenging games there. They'll get 3 conference games in a row. So obviously some good competition.
Yeah, Lincoln, a team holds you under about 30 points a game. That's a tough defensive team. They have been for years, so that'll be another good test for East Peoria for the postseason starts.
Washington also matched up with Lincoln. Lincoln beat Washington at Torrey Gymnasium. They're a really, really good team in Class 3A. Here's East Peoria out of the timeout. Page is going to get double teamed immediately. Back to Mabels. We're going to slow it down. Again, not a lot of scoring. Just 3 in the quarter for East Peoria.
And being protective of the ball is big right here for East Peoria. You want to make sure you don't turn it over.
Hounded by White. Back to Page, nearly stole by Vanderheit. Nowhere to go. Chown goes up with it. Some contact, no call. Washington a chance to tie or pull within one.
Just as we near under a minute. It's heating up here.
Exactly what we're looking for. Win. Over to Stewart. Stewart wants that three. Drives in. Foul and one for Washington.
Jake Stewart, another huge play for Washington. The guy that cut the lead to three has a chance to tie the game.
Jake Stewart.
That senior showing that leadership and that determination.
Free throw for the tie. Got it. 44. What do you do, John? Last shot?
You either play for a last shot. Washington's hot right now. I don't know if you're East Peoria want to put the ball back in their hands with the chance to win. But we will see what John Gerznich draws up.
Got something to pose to here, John Camosa, rather. Got a lot of Johns out here. Perhaps if you don't get the look you want at first, East Peoria's got 2 timeouts left to work with. Do you maybe 15 seconds from now call another timeout? Kind of maybe just see what they have, look sort of thing?
You go out there, you try to feel it out. I mean, obviously, you don't want too much time to tick away. If you call that second timeout, you still want time on the clock to get a good look. I think right now it's just trying to break that Washington pressure. You got to look for something inside. I think play for that basket. We saw Solchown down there, had a good look, just couldn't get it to go. So one of those plays you drop, who has the ball in their hands, and my guess, Gavin, Justin Page might be your guy.
Page has made very clutch buckets, but on the other hand, Page has also assisted on 2 game-winning buckets to Jack Du Bois, who beat Morton in this gym on a last-second layup, who beat Pekin in this gym on a last-second three-pointer. So it's like kind of just toss-up here.
And Washington probably scouted that coming in. They're going to put that pressure on Du Bois. Not a player you want to leave open. Well, we'll see.
They know where he wants to go, and he'll be the man to get it on the inbound.
All we know is it is heating up for a good finish.
Here's Jack Du Bois. They're just going to take the last shot. Now they'll get some pressure. Over to Page. He's close guarded. Back to Page.
Trapping him out there.
Nearly turned over. 11 seconds. Here's Page. 8 seconds. Nearly stepped out. He did step out. Washington will have a chance.
Wow. That defensive pressure they put on, not a whole lot of time, but still, chance to get something off.
Page is in disbelief. They never got a shot off. Now let's go the other direction. Who shoots it?
Yeah, I think there's only one answer if he's open. Jake Stewart, he's been clutch these 2 trips down. But I think it's anybody at this point that has a good look. Now, Gavin, you still got to go almost the length of the court down here on the opposing end. So you're going to have to play for something quick. Maybe they try to throw it in at half court. Try to at least have somebody over the line, kind of sprint down there.
How about Bernie Wynn? Bernie Wynn made a near half court, just a step over half court buzzer beater to end the half. Could he go 2 for 2 if he gets the chance, but Stewart might be your guy.
We know Washington, like you mentioned, they've had some highlight reel finishes through the past, some buzzer beaters as well, like East Peoria. So and there's always that chance of overtime,
which would be something else. East Peoria led by as much as 13, so had a comeback. Don't call it a comeback, John. East Peoria has just scored 3 in this 4th quarter. Length of the court in D. It looks like East Peoria is going to put a bit of press on.
Yeah, don't be surprised if you see maybe a screen here near the 3-point line, maybe player flare out, football pass there from Vanderheit. We'll see.
Stewart has the ball. Nowhere to go with it. Travels. And now East Peoria will have a chance at a prayer.
.9, still time.
Turnovers on back-to-back possible game-winning shots.
And they're going to get it in a really good spot, catch and shoot.
And timeout Raiders. Timeout East Peoria, 30 seconds.
Gavin, who do you like taking the shot if you can get him open?
You know, I feel inclined to say Jack Du Bois. Just for the sheer reason he's been in that situation. But once again, if he's not open, right, you're playing the matchups, John. If they're guarding him, you just got to pass it in. You got to get it to whoever's open.
Yeah, I wouldn't go for anything under the basket unless it's a sure thing. Somebody slips around a screen, they get wide open. I try to get a shot out here on the perimeter behind the arc, potentially set some type of good screen to get Du Bois or a Justin Page open and look for that clean look. .9, it's not necessarily a catch and shoot, maybe a step and shot, so you still have time. It's manageable.
Got to be aware of your time, though. Really cannot afford. Got to get a shot off.
And now Washington with their timeout. Both teams want to be certain here. Let's get a timeout, get set, make sure we know what we're doing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, just a kind of a quick turn of events there. Went from East Peoria, a chance to win it. Justin Page forced out of bounds. He steps out. Washington a chance to win it. They turn it over right back in East Peoria's hands where they left off. Both teams know what's on the line.
This gym has played home to 2 buzzer beaters this year, both by Jack Du Bois. He'll have maybe another opportunity. Regardless, East Peoria will have an opportunity to win the game. If not, we got 4 more minutes. What a game this has turned out to be. Low scoring, everything we want. Crowd will let you know. In, Page, horn, no good. And overtime is where we'll go.
That's just a tough shot for Page, well contested, and overtime.
And now Washington, again, having such a remarkable fourth quarter. You got to think that they just have so much momentum going into the last 4.
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's going to be who can come out here and make a statement early here in overtime. Washington looking to put some points on the board. East Peoria doesn't want to let this one slip away. They lost that first matchup at Washington, so kind of the revenge game, you could say.
We'll see if they can get it done or if Washington can go 2 for 2 on the year. Let's get a quick break for our great sponsor of tonight's game, Jake Weston State Farm in Washington. For all your insurance needs, call Jake at 309-444-4441 or JakeWestonInsurance.com. Appreciate Jake's support. High school athletics and Clutch Sports Media. If you just joined us, we're heading into a 5th period, overtime. East Peoria led by as much as 13 in this game. Washington crawled back and tied it. Both teams had a chance to get a game-winning shot. Both teams turned it over once, then Page couldn't hit it with .9 seconds left to go.
And who doesn't like overtime Mid-Illini basketball?
Turned over on the first play. Gotta be composed.
Turnovers are crucial here. Can't let it happen.
Wynn retrieves it for Washington, so they'll have a chance to break the seal. They've had the momentum. The needle is surely in their favor. They're taking their time. No rush for the Panthers.
Yeah, they're going to slow it down. You can see. Play for a good look.
They will chew as much time as necessary. Stewart. They've shaved about 40 seconds already on this possession. He'll drive in. Charge is the call. What a take right there. Saul Chown.
Yeah, good take from Stewart, but great defensive effort there from East Peoria. Just 3 minutes left here in overtime. East Peoria, a big chance.
Got to get points if you're the Raiders.
Hey, got to get some momentum back under you.
Jackson slips out with it, over to Mabels. Now to Page, he'll shoot for 2 from the wing. No good. Chown gets the board. East Peoria's second chance opportunity. Really has had no answer for this defense of Washington, over and back, so turnover after turnover.
How about Washington's defense? It has really turned up the dial here late in this game.
Whatever they made and adjusted at halftime has just worked flawlessly. East Peoria scored just a touch over 10 points in the entire second half, including this overtime period. Wynn drives in, hands it off to Stewart. Both teams are in the bonus, Panthers in the double bonus. Shade over 2 minutes to go. Here's Bernie Wynn. He'll try to drive in, but he'll kick it back out to Vanderhyde.
Patient possession here from Washington.
Off the leg, saved by Chown. Here we go the other way, East Peoria in transition. Page, DuBois for 3, in and out. Chown with the dunk!
Wow. What a way to fire up your crowd. That's one way to get the lead.
What a momentum shift. Here's Wynn. Drives in, up for 2. Holy cow, though.
Washington not fazed by it. They answer the call. Tone them right back down, and now we're tied again.
Put it in the running for Clutch Sports Media Game of the Year. Chown back to Page. Back to Chown. Cut off, and he's fouled. So he'll have some chance for 1 in the bonus, and up to this point, biggest free throws of the game.
Let's go back to that dunk by Chown. That ball came off quick. Didn't have a whole lot of time to react. He grabbed it and slammed it in. Now, another chance to be the hero and give him the lead.
I'm going to be dialing Joey Wright's phone number after this game. Co-founder of the company, but he needs to invest in some live instant replay. Sure could have used it right there.
Well,
I'm sure we'll clip it up later and put it on the social media feeds.
Good news is you can always rewind, watch it again. Won't be missed.
Wise words from John Camosa. Second one is up and good from Saul Chown. 2-point game. Little over a minute. Brewer. Bobbled by Wynn. Here's Vanderhyde. Spins inside. Up for 2. Response and timeout Washington.
Washington not going away. And Gavin, you said it. Clutch Sports Game of the Year, it is living up to that hype.
These are the games that just make high school sports and basketball so worth it, John.
Anytime you get overtime, and dare I say it, I don't want the broadcasters jinx, but double overtime is not out of the equation either in a game this close.
We've been trading buckets, and this is like the 5th time I've posed it to you, John, but do you hold for the last shot? I mean, you got a minute left. You reasonably could. You have 2 timeouts, so you could set something up if you don't like what you get. If you don't get an open shot or a surefire bucket, you can take another timeout.
We'll see what we get here, but East Peoria, they could do that, get a clean look. But man, it has been exciting.
I got to give a shout out to Cody Myers, who just sent me a text. He's tuning in tonight. DMAC head coach, former Canton coach for football. Taking in some basketball tonight. Thanks for watching, Coach Myers. Appreciate all of our viewers here on ClutchSportsIsle.com. East Peoria not in a hurry. Can't turn it over. They've done that a few times. Foul, and he's bumped. So Wade Jackson with a chance, one and the bonus, so not guaranteed both.
Chance here. This is a big free throw here for Jackson.
The senior playing in a big moment.
And you can just feel the energy in this crowd. It's really fired up.
Jackson's first foul shot, airballed, so
Washington will get it back. And you gotta, you know, the nerves of a shot like that, just late in the game, overtime. Washington, chance now they could potentially hold for the last shot here, Gavin.
they like slow possession, so they're not going to be in a hurry. I think they'll try to. Shame we have to have a winner and a loser in this one, John. It's been so good.
It has.
Brewer thought about it. 23 now. They're almost certainly holding for the last one. Timeout, Washington. 15.5.
More than enough time to get a good play.
And we'll let you know about our great sponsor tonight, Jake Weston State Farm in Washington. Give them a call, 309-444-4441 or jakewestoninsurance.com. There's the Washington huddle, tightly enclosed by Panther players. The anticipation in this gym is so high. What a big moment. In a game that didn't state it earlier, but throw the records out the window, John. This is a rivalry matchup. Really, it just comes down to who can make the better shot.
Yeah, and just a really unique game as well, in a game where East Peoria had a big lead. Washington really never went away, forced some turnovers late. You get to overtime, some big baskets back and forth. Now we're kind of on the verge of still a tie game. Can Washington get a shot off? Does East Peoria get a chance at a look if Washington converts? Most likely they're going to hold for the last shot. A miss sends us to another overtime. A make potentially send somebody home a winner.
Brewer inbounds. Gets it to Wynn, the sophomore. 13 seconds. Wynn drives in. Fouled! And one!
Wynn with the biggest basket of the season, and he knows he's still got to knock one down. Kind of telling his players, hey, still got one more. But he's fired up. You can see the smile.
Washington down 13, comes back, and has a chance to go up 3. And I believe that's the fifth foul on Saul Chow.
It will be. Big loss for the Raiders, and here's a big basket for Wynn, sophomore.
He has had multiple timely buckets tonight, John.
Yes, he has. He's been patient on his possessions, and with a make, Washington go up 3. Still leave East Peoria time.
Off, 2-point game. Here comes Page. Page drives over. Du Bois for 3. No good. Foul them. 1.8. That's the best look you're going to get. And Washington in the driver's seat. 2 makes here, wins you the ball game.
Well, it's that play we saw against Pekin. Justin Page likes to go to Du Bois in the corner. He does that same thing. And it was just a high arc shot. Had to get it over a defender. It's not going to go. And Washington, they can put it away here at the free throw line. And they're going to call that.
I'm not sure what the call is.
Is it a technical foul?
John Gersnich is in absolute disbelief. I think they called this some type of flagrant foul or an intentional foul, but I don't understand how it's an intentional foul in this stage of the game.
Yeah, just kind of grabbing him to get there quick to foul, to give yourself time. So something we missed right away.
I don't know how you make that call. I don't think it changes a lot.
Yeah, still time. But, the officials get.
Officials saying he grabbed around like a bear hug, but to me that's the direct definition of a take foul.
Yeah. We'll have to go back and see that. I mean, and in kind of that desperation, you miss a shot, you want to get over there in enough time to leave yourself some time on the clock, and that's the result. I mean, either way, you're getting there in a hurry. You want to get your hands on the opposing player quick to try to get a foul and waste as little time as possible.
Washington has no timeouts, so only scenario for East Peoria, they'd have to steal the ball upon an inbounds or force a 5-second violation. They'll try to do so. 1.8. In, fouled, and 1.1. So Brewer, 2 free throws, one of them to ice the game. First one is good, and that should be just about it. Washington student section giving it to Page. Final score in overtime, Washington 45, East Peoria 41. Another close matchup and probably one of the best ones we've seen all year.
Yeah, really good game there for both teams. And Washington comes out on top, but just dramatic fashion. What a win for the Panthers.
It was all second half for the Panthers. Jake Stewart hit some big shots. How about that dunk, though, on the other end from Saul Chown? I mean, timely bucket after timely bucket, and the Raiders fall short. They fall to 12-8. Got to leave a sour taste in your mouth. We'll start with them. They lose this one. Not happy about it. Had a tough second half. I guess arguably you could say, though, this makes you a better team. Yeah,
I mean, you try to bounce back, but it's always a tough to swallow there. 2 losses to your rival this season in a game that, they kind of had control at Washington at Torrey Gymnasium. Kind of same thing late in the game. Washington able to come back, hit some big shots. Same thing tonight, but a bigger lead was on hand, and Washington's defensive pressure really amped up there and was able to power them to the win.
Washington, on the other hand, they get a big bucket from Jake Stewart, Bernie Wynn, and I guess we should hand out player of the game honors, John. Probably my vote would be Bernie Wynn.
Yeah, Bernie Wynn, and it's usually you could say him or Jake Stewart, but that biggest shot of the game came from Wynn. That's what ultimately helped Washington.
Bernie Wynn, the sophomore, he'll be back around for a few years. James Johnson, the freshman. East Peoria, they've been right there. They've played really close with a lot of teams. Really close. Normal West, twice with Washington. Played Metamora close. Just got to get over that hump. We'll see if they can do it. We'll be back to cover both these teams at some point later this season. It's going to be all she wrote here from East Peoria, though. Final score, Washington 45, East Peoria 41. For our entire great Clutch Sports Media crew. Cameras tonight, Patrick Huber and Charlie Schermerhorn doing a fantastic job for us. The controls and directing was Mr. Jonathan Michael, always doing a fantastic job, leading the ship. And Teddy Ball putting up your graphics. For my broadcast partner, John Camosa, I'm Gavin Russell, signing off from East Peoria. Big winners tonight, Washington in a close battle. We'll talk to you soon. Good night, everybody.